Tonight on Ramblers Unleashed. Has old age caught up with J-Bone? Again? How did the Baron take the news that Liv Morgan will be taking an extended period of time off? Will Dizzy's internet survive the weather so Ramblers can go live? Did Max make it home in time to join the Ramblers? What surprise do the Ramblers have for their viewers? Spoiler, it's a good one. Find out all this and more next on Ramblers Unleashed. Now can you dig it, sucker?
This video contains gratuitous use of profanity and uncomfortable pauses to compensate for lack of professionalism and original thought. Viewer discretion advised.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Yeah, it starts now. Welcome to your Tuesday Night Delight. It is Ramblers Unleashed and number 62. Cannot believe we are 62 episodes deep already. But welcome to it. J-Bone, of course, as you can see, he's on assignment tonight. He's not with us. Apparently, again, guys, he got lost on his way to the computer to do the show, so we don't know exactly where he is. Did you guys hear from him at all today?
He should have made that right turn at the recliner.
Yeah, he probably should have. Yeah, he probably should have. But Mr. Magoo will be back hopefully next week, I hope. But man, we have a whole mess of stuff to talk about tonight, and we have a special guest waiting for us. So let's get everything out of the way. First and foremost, let's introduce the man that is higher than a 747 jet airliner. Our resident happy guy whose catchphrase is "Be Sir, please."
$9.99.
There you go.
Match 420.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Ladies and gentlemen, golfers, clap for the one, the only, the Baron. Sir, how are you, man?
Good, guys. It's always good to see everybody here on Tuesday, and love the opportunity to ramble about everything.
Yeah, we got a whole mess of stuff to ramble about too, man.
That's what you're saying. Hey! There's my big fan out there.
I see Amanda. We're Max and I are chopped liver. I got it. It's cool.
Yeah, she doesn't like me. She said something about that in the comments a couple weeks ago. I'm okay with it.
Well, I mean, that's normal occurrence here at these fronts here. Max, yeah. you lived the heel persona a long time. I know you're trying to make the switch over to full face. I'm not going to have it. I'm going to bring the heel Max back some way.
You would have to dig it. You were going to work hard. You're going to have to
I think I could do it.
But speaking of our neighborhood heel, which, by the way, Baron, we have your Buzzkill Moment and a new segment coming up too for me, because I never get a segment ever. So I just decided I'm going to make a segment of my own. Damn it, I deserve one.
Dedicated to me, though?
Yeah, it's dedicated to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Last but not least, our special guest is coming up here in just a moment, but our favorite neighborhood heel is a man with more wrestling knowledge in his pinky finger than Tony Khan could ever muster up in his life or with his toy figures, and the only guy that I know that pops bigger for Joel Gertner than any of us. You can address him as Mr. Magius, but we can call him the mighty Maximus Magius. Golfers, clap, sir. How are you?
I'm great. Let me tell you something. That little finger that we were talking about, I use mine for wrestling knowledge. You know what Tony Khan uses his for. and listen, because I was told I had to practice this and re-deliver it tonight, I'm going to do it because we do love you, Mir.
Yes.
My name is Max Magius, and I am the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed Ramblers Unleashed WrestleMania 41 predictions champion, Mir.
There you go. I love it. Which, Mir, by the way, did you get your t-shirt? We were talking about it off the air, and we were hoping that you did get your t-shirt. We want to see a picture of it too. So if you have either Facebook or X or whatever the case, or you can even send it to J-Bone. But we want to see a picture of you in the Ramblers Unleashed t-shirt that you won for your WrestleMania 41 predictions, which, by the way, we've got SummerSlam coming up 2 nights. that contest, we still have to figure out a prize, but that contest, you get to pick whichever Rambler you want to go with in our predictions. And you definitely want to go with me because I'm dizzy. Duh.
You know what? Hold on just a second. That's my best friend. So respect what he just said, first off.
And that's my best friend. So respect what he just said.
And I'm going to come back to him in 1 second. First off, I want to introduce the 5th member of the Ramblers. I know there's only 3 of us tonight. So tonight you'd be 4. But I want to introduce the 5th member. Ladies and gentlemen, we would not be here doing this show if not for you all watching us. Thank you, Amanda. You've tuned in every week lately. I appreciate that. Thank you to the rest of you. Ladies and gentlemen, the 5th Rambler is you, the viewing audience. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Absolutely. Round of applause for you. And Max, go ahead, because I know you're dying to do it.
I am dying to do it. And that brings me to my final introduction before we get to our surprise. My best friend, the guy without whom we would not be Ramblers. We would just be identityless on another show, like, destroying kayfabe. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the man that puts the stories together. He's the reason we're here. Give it up for my best friend, our host, Dizzy.
Oh, you're too nice. Thank you, Max. Thank you. Very nice. But, guys, we do have a special guest, and he is backstage waiting on us. Because last but not least, I had to get this guy on our show. We met this crew while we had our Rambling About Wrestling name, and we did some pretty awesome things together. We raised money for Alex's lemonade stand with a 24-hour stream full of just wrestling shows, which, by the way, I know you can hear me backstage. We need to do that again, soon. But these guys really became good friends of ours, and honestly, we'd do anything for them because that's what good brothers do. And on May 7th, these guys will reunite for a show after 10 years to talk, catch up, have some fun. They all went on different directions and different paths in life, but they collectively came back together, and we're really looking forward to seeing them live again on Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Wrestle Addict, please welcome our very good dear friend and good brother, G-Rod. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on? Thank you for that intro. That was wonderful. That made me I'm like, okay.
Did it make you tingly inside?
A little bit.
That was the point.
These guys are usually so far off topic on a lot of things, but when they do the intro, man, you start getting, what's that? The Rock, you start doing one of these numbers.
The goosebumps.
When we do our intros, everybody feels it way deep down in the cockles of their heart.
The cockles. That is pretty deep. G-Rod, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule, man. How long has it been since we've actually talked, bro?
Oh man, I don't know. It's I can't tell you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's we were talking about this, and you guys randomly come up on the show every once in a while. When we dive back into our history, because we've been doing this for a long time, and I know you guys were around when we were around. We partnered. We were teammates and all that, and we really, honestly, legit had a very, very good time with you. On the Wrestle Addict, and when you cross over to our show and on the 24-hour stream for wrestling for the cancer cause, and we just had a lot of fun with you, brother, and we're really happy that you're coming back for the 10-year reunion for the Wrestle Addict. And we were actually talking about the Wrestle Addict on after we went off the air on a show about maybe a couple of weeks ago. And we were just kind of reminiscing. So for those of our fans that don't know what the Wrestle Addict was about, or maybe they weren't around for the Wrestle Addict, talk to me about your time with the Wrestle Addict and all the guys on that show.
Man, so the Wrestle Addict started as I was living in LA at the time, and I think it was WrestleMania 31, the one I was actually supposed to go to that, and plans fell through. And I was dying to do a podcast again, wrestling podcast. And it was me, Chris Oni, and Chris Phoenix. We were talking about it. And before it became a podcast, it was going to be just a blog, a faceless blog. There was just going to be like no name to it, just the Wrestle Addict. That mask was just going to be basically the face. And it just grew into something more. And then we added Ant to the mix. And then people just started, joining up. And then we met you guys. And yeah, it was just never thought it would get as crazy as it did. And I can say, honestly, it was some of the best times in my life and definitely kept me sane in a rocky time in my life with my relationship and just kind of like, I don't know, a lot of doors that didn't open that I thought would open when I was in LA. But yeah, some of the best times in my life for sure.
Well, you guys did a lot together, though. I mean, you did some pretty big things with the Wrestle Addict and outside of the Wrestle Addict, because one of the big segments on the Wrestle Addict was Rant with Ant. And if you don't know who Ant is, that's Anthony DiStefano, another good friend of ours. And that blew up for you guys.
Miss that guy too.
Absolutely. But that blew up for you guys too, man.
So the one thing about Rant with Ant, it wasn't really supposed to be anything other than just a video show. And then it became literally one of our, if not the most popular thing that we did.
Yeah.
And when we decided to move to a different platform, it was really hard because I didn't want to close it up, but it just kind of made sense. Because if I was going to go over and produce with Ant, it was just going to take a lot of my time, and it did. We did some really great stuff with that. We were at All In, the original All In, and we got to interview Britt Baker, MJF. The MJF video is hilarious. He was such a on point heel, and then at the end, not to break kayfabe, but when he left, he winked at us, and he's like, "Yeah, that was good. That was good." So I was happy about that. But yeah, we did a lot with Rant with Ant too. But like, I don't think, and sorry, Ant, if you're watching, I don't think it really. For me, the Wrestle Addict was just so much more special, just because it was kind of my baby too, like at the beginning, and but both are just good moments in my life that I always like look back fondly.
I think about the Wrestle Addict with Rant with Ant. Both of them were very, very special to each segment. I mean, the show was the Wrestle Addict, but everybody had a special part on the show, and for Rant with Ant to go viral after the Wrestle Addict went off the air was just really, really impressive. It's a special time in your guys' life too, and very, very proud of you for going on that journey and being on that journey and having the opportunities that you did with Rant with Ant and with the Wrestle Addict too. The Wrestle Addict, you guys had a lot of different guests on your show, right?
Yeah, we had a lot of indie people. Trying to remember who. I think my favorite of all of them was when we were doing the Crushing Cancer stream, the first one we did.
Yeah.
I stayed up all 24 hours. That was very hard because I think maybe not too long before that I was sick, but we had Jervis Cottonbelly, of all people, Chikara favorite.
Yeah.
AKA Kevin Conjure, not to break the kayfabe, but I think he broke that already. It was like 1:30 in the morning, and I think me and Heel Please Heel, or Cade at the time, that was his name at the time, Cade Carnage.
Yeah.
He was on with me. I think we were talking about something with Mania, and I get a message from Jervis like, can we talk now? It's like 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, yeah, why not? And we had a really fun interview. It was so much fun. And he came back on the show again, which was great, And we also had, Jeff Jarrett during the Crushing Cancer stream. Jeff Jarrett came on, which was awesome.
Yeah. So how was Jeff Jarrett? Was he seems like a really down to earth kind of guy though.
One of the best interviews I think we ever did. He was so cool, very open to talk about whatever. I got to thank him for bringing New Japan over to America with the Wrestle Kingdom 9. It was the first time in America you were able to like buy it on pay-per-view before Fight TV became Fight TV.
Yeah.
And he was very appreciative of that. But no, he was one of the best that we ever did. It was so good. It was so much fun. He was our big guest, I believe. That we had that at like the whole time we were on air.
Yeah.
I remember being told that there was some concerns about me being on when Jervis was on, because at that point I had a hard time watching my mouth on the podcast, and he does not deal with cussing. So there was the possibility that I was going to have to miss the Jervis portion of that stream.
He's like who else does that? And there's someone else in wrestling that doesn't like the cussing now. It's like another character, but yeah, he would have cringed and probably would have dropped off. But that's not your fault. That's just how he is.
Yeah, have you talked to the largest arms in podcasting, Paul Sweat, lately?
Dude, I was literally going to ask that same exact question because, like, me and Paul, like, he's one of the very few, and not to, cut you off or anything, Max, but that we kind of, like, kept in contact for a while, and then he got banned off of Twitter. I mean, it's probably been a year or two, and I haven't heard anything from him.
Yes, he's gonna be one of the people on the reunion. He's coming. I talked to him here and there on Instagram. He's on Instagram. And when I brought it up to him, I thought he was gonna say no, and I thought Ant was gonna say no, because I think they're both in very different places, but like they were both really excited. I'm really glad Paul's coming on because he was some of the stuff he did on our show, especially with that Wasim Purvis kid. It was so much fun when he would do his things. It was the greatest thing.
It's funny.
So whose idea was it to get the band back together for one night only?
Oni. So I guess someone saw that Wrestle Addict Radio is still a thing, and we gave the brand to a few people that are running it, and they're great. Shout out to them.
By the way, that person was me.
Okay, so I thank you and Oni for making this happen. We were talking about it, and I had to like give him the tell him what was going on with it and everything, and he was like, "Yeah, it'd be great to do a one-off." And then I looked at the calendar. I was like, "Wait a minute, it's been 10 years," and I was like, "Well, let me see what everyone's up to." Like, I'm not going to do it if no one else wants to be involved. I just can't do it with just like two of us, So I literally went down the line the same day and just asked. I just kind of like, "Hey, would you be into this?" Everyone would a resounding yes. There was no thought process. Everyone was like, "Yep, we're doing it. We're doing it." And I'm like, "Wow, this is gonna happen." And so it's happening.
So was it May? So May 7th was the original first show, right? Or was that?
It was I'm not sure what. I'm not sure what day it was, but it might have been the Monday after. Yeah, it was the Monday after WrestleMania 31 is when we had our first podcast.
Wow.
And I remember we opened up with a remix of Suplex City, bitch. and that was, and history was made then.
So with podcasting, because a lot of people don't consider podcasting a career, but it really kind of is. If you can make it into a full-time job, it really is a career. From the first show, G-Rod, to the very last episode of the Wrestle Addict, and then going into Rant with Ant, what is the biggest thing that you learned to become a professional podcaster?
Consistency is king.
Yes.
I think that goes for everything in life, but like especially with podcasting, you have to be consistent on your graphics, your audio, how everyone sounds every week. You have to make sure everything is just on point, and you got to keep that as a key. And if you're consistent and you put all your hard work in it, and also adapt with the times, you're going to make it a career. It's going to happen. As long as there's no controversy or anything, you're good to go.
Yeah. Go ahead, Max.
Dizzy is no stranger to controversy, but I don't think we should talk about that situation.
Yeah. That was, I know where he's going with that.
I'm not going anywhere with that. I don't think we should talk about them.
No, but
wait, no, what?
When it comes, we'll talk about it off the air. When it comes to that, though, controversy. Did you ever come into contact with anybody that caused you any contact or like controversy or any jealousy or anything like that, any negativity of any sorts? Because you guys had a pretty big show, and there had to be somebody out there that was trolling or just hating on you guys. Did you get anything like that?
Yeah, there was always trolls, but I think what happened is that I think the platform that we were on after Wrestle had closed down, I think there was a little bit of a rivalry between the shows. And then after that, there was an expansion that happened, and then there was a little bit of heat there. But I don't. There was never anything crazy that happened. But everyone's gonna get their haters. You have people who don't have anything going on in their lives, and I always wish that they find something, because instead of trolling, you're just wasting your own time. So, but it is what it is.
Basement bookers, got a lot.
Yeah. That's why I stay away. That's why I stay away from a lot of that stuff.
Absolutely, man. So with the Wrestle Addict coming back, this is one night only, right?
Yep.
What makes it one night only?
Well, listen, I think a lot of us. I know I personally left Rant with Ant because I got burnt out talking about something that I didn't love anymore. Because at the time, I just wasn't in love with wrestling at all.
Yep.
And the only thing that kept me going was things outside WWE. It was All In, ROH, New Japan, just things that I really enjoyed. And we didn't really talk much about that because our audience was primarily WWE. And I think with what I'm doing in my life and then what everyone else is, busy with, it's just going to be one night. I don't think we could do more than just one show, to be frank. I think it's just everything. I guess everyone's just busy,
Yeah. Anthony has been very busy. He's still doing podcasting, but it's outside of wrestling. It's actually him and his wife doing Disney stuff, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's his passion, man. I always say, like, we put a lot of work into the stuff that we did, but he was really like, once he joined and once he got his passion for, doing podcasting and doing content, he gave me energy to do things. I always loved content creation or just being in media in general. But he gave me the energy to really just keep going. And I'm really glad he does it. Anytime like he kind of takes breaks, I get worried that he's not going to be doing it anymore because he's just so good at it. So like when I heard he was coming back, I'm like, oh, thank God. Because that's what he needs to be doing.
Well, I told him a long time ago that he needs to be in radio.
Yeah.
He's just got that energy. You're right. He's got that energy. He's got that drive. He's got that focus. And he whenever he's behind the mic, he does become somebody, a different persona. And it's a good persona, really good persona.
The thing is, though, that when you're in radio, you have stricter rules and regulations that you have to follow so that you can be on air. When you do a podcast, you just have to know your audience. And yes, you got to be careful about what you say in your podcast at times, but you have a slightly longer leash on yourself. And that's probably why he does this and not radio. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with that for sure. It's I do a FM radio show that broadcasts back where I grew up in Cape May every Monday. And there's times, and it's a pre-recorded show. And there's times where I'll let a few F words fly because I'm talking about movies and I'm like very passionate about it.
Yeah.
So when I go back and listen and excuse me, and edit, I'm like, oh God, I have to re-record this and I have to put it in, and it's a lot of work. So podcasting is where you could just be yourself and you can say whatever you want in reason, as long as you're not a jerk. And yeah, I think it's a better medium. I'm glad it's still around, because back then it was like, still trying to figure it all out, podcasting. We were all like trying to figure out video shows good, how we're going to do that with equipment. And just like now, you like don't even need to, you could do one stream and broadcast it out to like 10 different places. It's great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can do it from your phone now. You don't even have to be on a computer anymore.
Dude, everything is like, I'm for sure the last time we were ever together, I mean, it was probably right there at the 12 to 13 year mark, right?
Yeah.
Oh, because we've been around for longer than I like to admit, because that means I have to acknowledge these two guys above me that has been beefing with me for the last month now.
Been longer than a month.
Okay, has it? Yeah, it probably has. A couple months now.
Mainly, don't go to Culver's without your best friends. That's what I'm saying.
Fuck! I thought we might get through one show without mentioning Culver's.
You brought it up.
You brought it up.
I never said Culver's. I never said that.
No, but you brought up what happened without saying it.
Fuck, fine, fair enough. But nonetheless, I don't even remember what topic we were going to do. That's normally me. I start one and end the other. But you being a movie buff, I think it's cool to find out what is your favorite movie of all time.
Oh man!
Terrible question to ask for someone that's a movie buff, because they're like, fuck.
It's
so many.
There's so many. Like, I'll tell you, like, the movie that got me into wanting to be a filmmaker, I'll give you that answer, because that's probably the closest I can get to giving you a favorite film. Halloween, original Halloween. It's the movie that scared the living crap out of me when I was young. I wanted to create a character like that. I haven't got a chance yet. I have a script ready to go, and we'll talk about that at another time. But Halloween, definitely. It's a classic. Nothing there hasn't been a slasher that's been able to top that film, in my opinion.
Well, I think it's sorry, Max, I don't mean to cut you off. I think it's time that we talk about your director duties, because not only are you a podcaster, but you're also a director, and you directed probably one of the best movies that I've ever seen, and it was a movie called The Bastard Sons. And if you've never seen this movie, God, do yourself a favor. If you like mafia type movies, if you like I'll put it up there with The Godfather. I'll put it up there with The Sopranos. This is a good movie, Glenn. This really is a good movie, and I have to ask you about it, because it really was it was not only well done, but it was kind of fucking cool that I know the guy that directed this movie, man. So how long of a process was this film for you to write, and how long of a process was it for you to film it, and where did it come from? Start there.
Well, I appreciate all the kind words. I was a producer, not director. I was going to direct it.
Okay.
But I was producer. I helped get this movie off the ground with the wonderful Kevin Intergenato, who's also the star of the film. It's a very long project. 20 years it took to make this movie. I wrote the first original story / script in high school, junior year. And I wrote it in drama class at home. Just took my time with it, and I gave it to a few friends. They liked it, and I had to put it away because school came first at the time. So I graduated high school. I moved to Florida after a year. Didn't like it there. I came home and decided to take my film career seriously. So I put out an audition call to make what ended up being The Bastard Sons, and I met Kevin, as he was one of the people who came out to audition for the role. At the time, that was named Tommy, and he killed it. He came in and just blew me away. And he was on The Sopranos for a couple episodes, and he did a lot of other TV and short films at the time. And he called me one night after the audition, and it's like, "Hey, we should turn this into a feature." So I started writing the first draft of the feature film, and then it kind of was shelved because just the money wasn't there at the time. I just didn't know how to raise it. I didn't, have enough of my own. I was working stupid jobs, all that stuff. I made short films in between, lived in LA, had a blast in LA, did a lot of things toward the country and everything, with a couple different projects. But um, COVID came, and I was living in Plainfield, Illinois, and I get a call from Kevin. And Kevin's like, "Hey, I found the original script for what ends up being The Bastard Sons. Let's take a crack at it. Let's make it, you know?" So we started rewriting it, and the rest is history.
Was it? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Right.
Was it called something else other than The Bastard Sons?
Yeah, long story short, it was originally called Nowhere Guys. I ended up working with a writer to help me rewrite it right before I moved to LA. I moved out to LA. Something really bad happened. The first 24 hours I was there, I put my trust in the wrong person, and we changed the title and everything, so we just weren't associated with that guy anymore.
Yeah.
Let's just say that my life was in danger in the first 24 hours of being in LA.
Oh my
And
God.
that's because I put my, trust in the wrong person. And it's my bad, My bad.
Wow. I'm glad you're safe. I'm glad you're still here. And
Appreciate that.
The Bastard Sons is a phenomenal film. Where can people stream? Is this still available for streaming?
Amazon Prime for free if you're a subscriber, and it's on Tubi, and that's 100% free. So all you have to do is sign up for that. As long as you don't mind commercials, you're good.
Yeah,
I hate commercials.
I do too. But to watch this film is just really, it's so good. And if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, go watch it. And I have to ask, G-Rod, is there going to be a sequel?
Well, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
There's a story.
Oh yeah.
That Kevin came up with. He came up with a nice hook for it too. That I think if it was made, it would it would definitely outdo the first one for sure. But right now we have a whole bunch of other things going on.
Mm-hmm.
We have a film that's in post-production right now. It's in sound mixing and all that stuff. It's called Dirty Hands. I produced that one too. I didn't write it. Kevin did that. Kevin is also the star of it. It stars, it's called Dirty Hands. It stars Kevin Interdonato, Patrick Muldoon, and Michael Beach, and the wonderful Denise Richards. And it was an incredible shoot. We shot it in Chicago last October. And I watched it, and we leveled up for sure. If you thought The Bastard Sons was cool, wait until you see this one. It's violent. It's awesome. It tells the story of two brothers who are working on a drug deal. It goes wrong. They have to survive the night, and it's intense. It's violent, and I love the ending. It's so great. It's I just can't wait for it. It comes out the end of the year. So stay tuned.
So is that the same Denise Richards from Starship Troopers and Wild Things?
Yep.
That's so awesome, man. How did you get her, man?
There's just, we had the budget and we have the connections, through Pat Muldoon, who's also in Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah.
She loved the role, and that's it. It was just really cool working with her. It was just, I'm a big Valentine fan, the slasher movie Valentine.
Yeah.
So knowing that we were able to work with her on that, I'm like, that's cool.
Max, I think I'm sorry to cut you off earlier. I believe you had a question for.
I'm going to get to my question in a second. I love IMDb, just so everybody knows, if you didn't already know that about me. And I jumped over on IMDb, and listen, I'm going to watch The Bastard Sons. And I do want to see Dirty Hands when it comes out. I see another one in pre-production. But I found one on here that I really want to watch. and that is because it actually has G-Rod in it as a bat-wielding cultist. It's called Armageddon Ed's Ticket to Hell. I'm definitely going to have to try and find that and watch it.
Unfortunately, it's not available anywhere. I've seen it. It's not good at all. And I'm saying that because it's not. And I always give filmmakers big ups because it's really hard to make a movie.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mean, if you like campy horror, it's fun. I guess you could say that. There's a lot of interesting moments in it. But I'll tell you this: I'm about wielding cultist, and I get killed by a pirate. He shoots me in the nuts and throws me into a pool. That's how I
How
die.
can you not like a movie with that in it? That just sounds awesome.
I mean, look, shooting it was great. It was a blast making that movie. But other than that, it's not a good movie. It's just not.
So the question I wanted to ask, though, I want to kind of go the opposite of what Baron asked and actually how you answered it. Did you ever sit down and watch a movie, not Armageddon Ed? Did you sit down and watch a movie that you just enjoyed so little that you wondered if you really wanted to do this?
That's a great wow. Jeez. Man. So I walked out of the Ring 2, the American Ring 2. I thought it was a horrendous piece of shit, and I was on a double date, and I'm like, I just walked out. I was like, I'm gonna take you home because it sucks. And I left my other friend there with his girl. I took her home because I was complaining the whole time, and I love horror films, and I was like so excited to see it because I like the Ring series, the Japanese versions, and the American first one is pretty decent. But I'm just like, what are we doing here? There's a lot of movies like that though. Like there's a lot of movies that I watch and I'm like, how is this getting funded? How is this a thing? I know there's an audience for literally everything, but I'll sit there and watch these trailers and I'm like, do I need to be here? I mean, am I gonna make it? Like, if these movies are getting funded, I have original stories that I want to tell. That everyone says is good. People I know in the business that read the script, but like, it's really hard to get funded, to get that money, especially as an independent artist. So, there's a lot of those movies that'll make me think like, oh shit, why am I here?
It's got to be exhilarating though, honestly, being in that industry and doing what you love, man. I mean, movies are your passion. I've known you for years, and every time I've seen your Facebook or anything like that, you're always referencing some sort of movie, or you're big into records, and you were always spinning the Halloween record, or some kind of horror movie record, or some sort of soundtrack, or something like that. So for you to be able to follow your passion and your dream, that is commendable, sir. And I give you big props on that, man.
I appreciate that. Look, like we made the Bastard Sons, and I'm like really excited about it. It's going to be on video on demand. People are going to be able to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
When the moment I realized that I accomplished something that I always wanted to, was when we got an email from our distributor asking us for something called a DCP, and it's something that movie theaters use to play their movies. It's the file that they use, and we're like asking, like, why are they asking about that? Is because they released it in 4 major cities and it played on the big screen for a week. And my friend went to the one in Detroit and sent me photos of my name on the big screen, and I had myself a little cry because it was.
That's awesome,
that's when
man.
I felt like I don't need to be famous. I could care less about it. I don't need to make $1 million. Just knowing that I did something that I always said I was going to do and got made fun of for it, and had family say that I shouldn't do it, and I accomplished it. It felt pretty good.
But for you to be able to live that moment and be in that moment and have it captured on film, and for it to be shared back to you, G-Rod, that is so fucking cool. And guys, we have to do a golfer's clap for that. Golfer's clap. Absolutely.
I did see my name on the big screen one time, And this is legit. One of the Kevin Smith movies, he did a thing where he said, if you comment on this post, we will put your name in the credits of this movie.
That's
and sure
awesome.
enough, if you go in there to the big group of names, I am in there.
That's
Is
cool.
What movie was it? Because Kevin Smith's one of my guys. He's my second favorite director.
I want to say it was Clerks 2. Give me a
Oh my
second.
God. I got to watch Clerks 2 now.
Oh my god, fucking
Clerks 3 is
classic.
awesome. Clerks 3 is amazing. It made me cry. That movie's legitimately sad.
All the Clerks are great. All of them.
Yes.
But swaying it back into the podcast,
It was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, nice.
I had that DVD. I got to go pull it out and watch it later, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But swaying back into the podcast, out of 10 stars, are you how excited are you to get the band back together for one night, and what can we expect, man?
Oh man, like all the stars, man, all the stars. Even if it's not in the Tokyo Dome, it's all the stars. What can we expect? Geez, there's gonna be a lot of joking around, a lot of, if you know the Wrestle Addict history and the specials that we used to put on, that I don't know if I'm allowed to say anymore.
Oh, fuck it, say it.
Podcast orgy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We had, I forget, I think we did 4 or 5 of them, and those were the most outrageous things I think I've ever been a part of. And it's like the last time that I drank like heavily was on one of those shows, and I still listen to the best of it. But you're gonna get a lot of hilarity. You're gonna probably get a lot of hot takes, because I don't know who watches what. I know Phoenix watches AEW religiously. I watch it not religiously, but for the most part, more than anything. I know Ant's a WWE guy.
Yeah.
And so there's gonna be a lot of hot takes, and it's just gonna be a lot of catching up. It's just gonna be a fun hour or two, and I'm sure Phoenix will come in with the impersonations and voices that he does. And yeah, it's just gonna be a blast. It's gonna be one of the best times ever, and I'm just so glad that everyone wanted to do it, because I was really kind of curious to see what everyone's thoughts were. Because I know at one time Ant and I talked about and said we would never do a wrestling show again. Not because we have anything against it. It's just it took a lot out of us, for sure.
Hi, puppy.
It's a lot, man, to be able to do a show, put on a show for fans, your fans, and the people that love you and the people that want to support you. It's you pour your heart and soul into it, and that's where I was with the Rambling About Wrestling podcast, as I was pouring my heart and my soul into it. And I kind of got to a point where you did, G-Rod, is I fell out of love with professional wrestling, and it was really the only thing that I wanted to come on here and be able to talk about on a weekly basis. And you know, when you fall out of love with something, it really just crushes you. And it for you to come out of the podcast world talking about something that you love, and then finding your way back into it, because honestly, I mean, wrestling healed me. It helped me quite a bit with personal stuff that I went through. And I know that a lot of people here possibly went through the same thing too, because we all love the art form. It's an art, professional wrestling. And for all of us to be able to make friends doing this podcasting thing with the same love and admiration that we have for professional wrestlers in the wrestling industry, this is just one of the coolest things that I've ever been involved with you guys. And we wouldn't trade your friendship for anything, man. And we are so thankful for you, for Ant, for Oni, for Paul Sweat. And yeah, absolutely. Puddin' Brain. We are thankful for Styles. We're thankful for everybody that we've come in contact with, and we've stayed friends with, and this has just been really, really cool. And that's that. Like I said, man, that's just one of the cool things about this industry is that you can go and you can meet new people and make new friends that love this sport like you do.
And sometimes at the most random moment, a memory will strike you. And I just remembered you guys are doing this at a really interesting time because I remember from when we were talking before, Ant is a huge fan of the Bellas. And Nikki Bella is set to make a return this year for I don't know how long. I know she doesn't plan on doing it for long, but she wants to come back and do some work in the ring. This is a really interesting time for you guys to do this reunion.
It is. I didn't know that actually, so that's pretty cool. I'll have to talk to him. I'll definitely put that into the show notes and ask him about it. It's so funny because, like I said earlier, when we were with Rant with Dan, we were riding high. We were at All In. Before All In, I told Ant and Phil, who was our other co-host at the time, I'm done. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I was having battles with myself, even showing up to record, because I was watching things that I didn't like. Like it was just really tiresome to get through a WWE show at the time, and they were really supportive, and and it sucks because the last show I did was the show we recorded at All In. We recorded 2 shows. We were on a stage for I forget what the company was called, but they like ran a lot of the podcasts back then. And if we were part of the press thing, we could do a recorded show by them on this like stage that was right across the stage, the area from Busted Open Radio. And I remember sitting up there and a few people came to watch. It was cool. And like we were talking, and Bully Ray's like on the other end getting done his show. He stops and he's looking at us and he's giving us look. I can't stand that dude. So when he was like looking at us, I felt so great because he was like watching us and he was listening, and it was just so cool. But and it sucks because like at the time I was so happy to be at All In, but I was so sad that I was leaving, but I had to because I was just not happy with what I was watching, and I didn't want to fake it. I was faking my admiration for the company that I didn't like at the time every week, and I got so burnt out. And then I went and started my own show after that, just to talk about movies, music, and things. And but to take it all back, I'm so glad that I met all you guys. And that's what I take out of doing this is not doing the shows and not the content. It's the people that you meet. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget that forever.
Yeah.
I pushed for a long time to not necessarily to do random shots. That's what it became. But I pushed for a long time for that group of guys to sit down and do a podcast with me because I felt that the 4 of us had some great stories from the time we knew each other that we could sit down and tell people and people would like. Maybe our opinions would resonate with people. And I pushed for a long time. And finally we went to, I'm going to mention his name again. We went to a Kevin Smith show up in Boulder, Colorado. And we come out from the show and we're in the parking lot. One of the guys was like, you know what? Maybe we should do a podcast. I'm like, I've been saying that.
Yeah. What sparked the Wrestle Addict to start? I mean, I know the love of professional wrestling, but how did you all become friends, or were you already friends before that?
So I knew Chris Phoenix for like the longest time. And I knew Oni from high school. So I knew Oni. I've known Oni the longest out of everyone. And I've done shows with Phoenix before, not wrestling, but other stuff. The same with Oni. So it was just a no-brainer to bring them on. And then with Ant, I don't know how I didn't know him because he was in the same, lived in the same town I grew up in. He just went to a different school, but he was friends with Oni. And the only reason why he came on, because he was in a chat during one of the episodes. And Phoenix at the time, or I don't know if he still likes or dislikes him or not, but not a big Brock Lesnar fan. And Ant was a big Brock Lesnar fan. And he's like, I'll come on and debate. And we agreed. And Ant came on, and then we just stayed on because he was great. I remember going on, the last, after the show ended, I'm like, dude, you need to stay on with us, man. You're great. And he stayed. And then
Your guys'
We just-
chemistry, I don't mean to cut you off, but your guys' chemistry was top notch.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's just because it's easy to talk to him, man. He's so friendly, and like you don't get nervous around him or anything. He's just one of the guys, man. He's just you talk to him, and it's like you've known him forever.
I do. I kind of get nervous. Like every time I try to send him a message, I think about my message that I've typed out. I'm like, I'm stupid. Am I going to sound dumb if I send this to him?
He's a loving dude, and he's done a lot for me personally that I'll never forget either. So, and then Paul came on because I think he was Twitter friends with Ant, and the same with Cade, or shout out Costin, that's his real name.
Yeah,
his shoot name, and then we met you guys. And then was J-Bone with you guys in the beginning?
Yeah, J-Bone came along maybe about a year after we were doing this. Yeah, J-Bone came along.
And then we met J-Bone. And then after that, we met Mile High Laz. He was part of the show for a little bit.
Yeah.
He was a character. Definitely a character. And I think that's all who like kind of was part of the. Oh, and Big Greg. I can't forget. I can't mention. I the guy from Scotland that I like to call him. Hey, yo, Big Greg. He was doing his thing too. Levels of wrestling.
Yeah.
And we met with him, and he came on, and he was always the butt of jokes. But like he's the nicest dude ever, and he's coming on too. I feel bad for missing him earlier, but yeah, we met him too, and another talented guy in podcasting and music, and very inspirational guy too, losing all that weight and becoming fit. That's definitely inspiration for me. So we just met through just doing it and just meeting different people, and it's just funny how we all just kind of stuck together for that longest time. I think the Wrestle Addict lasted a year and a half though, so it wasn't like a long time that we were together, but
it felt like forever.
It definitely did. I think we were all ahead of our times back then too. We were all doing video shows like you guys, us, and like we were very much ahead of our time because now it's just everyone's doing it. And I imagine if we all stuck together and kept doing it and we didn't leave for Rant with Ant and we just kept doing it, I think we would all this would be a career for us. So I apologize.
No, don't apologize.
Damn it.
For anything, man.
Damn it.
My fault.
Nothing.
Damn it, G-Rod. Come on, man.
One of my favorite memories that came out of meeting all of you, because we've talked here on this show before, and I think we talked about it back then. I met Dizzy on a website called Fubar, and he introduced me to Bubba, and he introduced me to Baron, and then J-Bone came along, and then I met all you guys as well. One of my favorite memories, though, coming out of all this was we had a night where we decided we were going to roast each other. And I remember going into that thinking, all right, this is going to be a lot of fun. Everyone here knows how to roast people. This will be great. And then I'm sitting there listening to the roasting, and they're not really roasting right. They're picking one target and just sticking that. I'm like, all right, it's my turn because I've watched a lot of roasts. I know how this works. Let me show you guys how this works. And I just roasted everybody that was in that show that night. I wish we still had that video because I would like to watch that one again.
Yeah, I wish. That
would have been fun to watch back. Yeah, though it's there's a lot of videos like that. That like there is the first charity stream, because of how I ran it on the back end, we don't have any record of, and it sucks because that was legitimately one of the best things I've ever been a part of. Just everybody put a lot of effort into it. Yeah. We raised a lot of money, and it was on the night before a really bad WrestleMania. That was not a good WrestleMania. And just had about all the shows that Pitch did. And we did a second one too that was just as good. And the second one didn't have any like big time guests or anything, but like we had a lot of fun with those things. And I just remember the last like 2 minutes of that first one, and like how we hit 24 hours. My voice was gone. I was in a haze.
Yeah.
And I just remember that night was NXT TakeOver Dallas, and my guy Shinsuke Nakamura was debuting, and I just remember the emotion of the day. I was like crying. I was like, this is amazing. And it's not the first time I cried when Shinsuke won the Royal Rumble. I was there with Rant with Ant. We were doing a thing there, and I was going through a breakup. I just moved back from Los Angeles, went through a really bad breakup, and like I just all the emotions. So Shinsuke Nakamura has been that guy that makes me cry in wrestling.
There's just something about him in the ring, man, that he's just so damn good, and he's so compelling as
Very
a
much.
storyteller, you know. But
Very much.
that's how they. I mean, that from New Japan. You watch any New Japan match, and even though you're not following the story, you don't know what the story is. The story's in the ring, man, and they're giving it all. You know, they're giving it their all. You don't know what they're saying as far as them cutting a promo, but damn it if they can't tell that damn story in the ring move by move, you know. And that's what Nakamura does every time I see him, every time he goes out there and does what he does, even when he's cutting a promo and I don't understand a fucking word he's saying. He's just so captivating, you know.
That's the storytelling I like. That's the stuff that I get attracted to, is the in-ring work. I know it's polarizing for someone to say that, because, you know, there's that rift between AEW fans and WWE fans. I think it's all nonsense. I think you like what you like, you don't like what you don't like. I think both companies get unfair criticism, and I think both companies get a lot of fair criticism. I think it kind of tilts one way, but that's another story for a different day.
Yeah, you know, at the end of this show, every time we end the show, I always just remind folks, love professional wrestling, no matter what promotion you go and watch. If it's AEW, WWE, TNA, Indie, I don't care. Go and love the art, because this is an art form, and this is something that people are passionate about, and people make a living in this industry. So,
yes, sir.
You know,
my thing has always been this: it's one thing to dislike the product. Baron doesn't care for AEW, and I'm cool with that. I see his perspective to an extent. I dislike the product. What I'm not okay with is the tribalism that comes from the fans, where they're like, oh, if you're an AEW fan, you're dumb. Oh, if you like the WWE, you just need to get out of here. Your time has passed. Don't attack the other fans. Attack the product that you dislike, but let the fans enjoy what they choose to enjoy.
100%. It's look, I'm not a WWE fan much anymore. I'm not a fan of their storytelling style anymore. I'm not a fan of a lot of the wrestlers there anymore. I see why they're talented. They're all super talented. I would never take that away from them. But I would never sit there and sit on my high horse and say, "Oh yeah, you WWE fans, you guys suck for liking what you like," or we're AEW fans are much more superior. Like I can't get into that. That's the kind of stuff that I hate. That's the kind of stuff that took me away from wrestling too. A lot of the tribalism and stuff, like, when All In happened, like, we were talking about doing it and people were trashing. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I have to stay away from Twitter and all this stuff, because my mental health is going down, because it's just like, I shouldn't let this stuff bother me, but I love this stuff so much that, it does affect you a little bit. And, but you just like what you like, dislike what you dislike, don't talk trash, and just move on, because there's much more stuff in life that is more important than wrestling. And wrestling is supposed to be there for an escape. And that's something that I remember Ant saying, that wrestling is an escape. It should never be something that you get so heated about that you ruin friendships, or, get in trouble for it. It's not worth it.
No, I can't tell you how many times professional wrestling has saved my life. And that's why I'm here. That's why I gathered all these guys to do this show every Tuesday, to talk about what we all love, even though we get aggravated with the product because we see things for the product that we're watching specifically. We see it, but we love it, man. And that's one of the cool things about making a podcast, is that you can do that. You can get with your friends and talk nonsense, and that's what you guys did on the Wrestle Addict too. You talked about it, but you also found a way to have fun with it. And I'm excited for the 10-year anniversary, dude. It's going to be so fun to watch you guys back. And you're not going to be in the same room, but you're going to be on the same call. You're going to be on the same stream together again, and this is just going to be so much fun. Are you expecting chaos?
There might be not in a bad way, but in the good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's there might be some heated arguments. Who knows? We'll see. All the stuff that I just said might come into play.
Hopefully not.
In the end, we will all shake hands and walk away as friends. But I'm excited. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a blast. I'm ready, and I know that people ask, well, what happens if we're really into it and stuff, and we should do another one? Hey, 10 more years. Maybe if we're all still here, we'll do it.
I don't agree with the waiting 10 more years. No, you can do the reunion in 10 years, but Dizzy keeps saying that we should do another big charity stream. Mm-hmm. And I don't see us being able to do that without having you guys there, because really the charity streams would not have been what they were especially not without you. But I think that we should really look into doing another one of those. I, for one, would love to be a part of another one of those, because that was an amazing period for me doing a charity stream. And I can't think of a better way to podcast than to do something like that.
I mean, I'm down for that. And whoever wants to be a part of it, I'm down. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it. I'm not opposed to it, because good doing something for a good cause, I'm all about that.
And we know the right person to talk to help us orchestrate that, man. May 7th, twitch.tv/made by G-Rod. You can catch G-Rod and all the originals for one night only, the Wrestle Addict. This is going to be amazing. Celebrate 10 years with the original crew. And these are some of the best guys that you'll ever get to talk to, some of the best guys you'll ever see on a stream. And I guarantee you, when you go there on May 7th, man, you are going to have a ton of fucking fun. And that's on a Wednesday, by the way. So mark your calendars. I know what I'm doing on Wednesday.
That's a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a week.
Yeah, it's next week.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I already went over there and I followed G-Rod on Twitch, so that I'm already set up and ready to go for next week at 6 p.m. in the only time zone that matters, mine. And there's one other thing I wanted to tell you, G-Rod, because I was going through some stuff on my computer, and I found that I'm still a member of the Wrestle Addict Discord.
Oh, nice. I didn't know we had one.
There has not been a message sent in there since 2016. I'm in there, and J-Bone's in there twice.
I don't even have access to that. You might have to link that to me so I can see it.
Of course, J-Bone's in there twice.
Maybe we'll resurrect it.
You need to resurrect it, man, and we're going to
resurrect. That's just like a hub, a hub for everyone to come and talk about wrestling. Man, we might have to do that.
The resurrection of the Wrestle Addict live May 7th on twitch.tv/made by G-Rod for one night only. And this is going to be so much fun. G-Rod, thank you so much, dude, for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you got to get back to work, and we certainly do appreciate you coming on here. Is there anything else that you want to say before we wrap this up?
Everyone in the chat watching this or listening to support these guys. This is good content. They're great people, most importantly. And go Devils.
Go Devils.
I was going to say, man, we appreciate you hopping on here. But I noticed your jersey, and I'm like, dude, they're playing right now. What's he doing?
Right above this.
You got another monitor? Okay.
Yep. I'm working, talking to you guys, and watching this all at the same time.
Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah, go Blues.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that's my pick for the other side.
I just dropped the link in the Restream private chat.
Yeah, I'm going to put that in our chat, and I'm also going to, when this video posts up on youtube.com/Ramblers Unleashed, We'll put it up on our X account. We'll put it up on our Facebook account. And
that's the Discord.
That's the Discord. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's for you guys and G-Rod. That's
okay. I got you. Okay.
If he wants to publicize it, I'm okay with that.
No.
I'm just saying.
No. I thought it was the twitch.tv link. So that was my fault. But again, G-Rod, thank you so much, dude. I know your time is very limited. So if you have time, you're more than welcome to stay and chat with us until you can't anymore. But we do want to thank you for coming on here and talking to us about the Wrestle Addict, man. We're super excited for you guys. Welcome home.
And I, for one, would love to have you back again if you want to come hang out and chat with us another time, too.
Oh, for sure. I'll be back. You let me know when, I'll be there.
Absolutely.
Always welcome.
Absolutely. And how can they follow you on social media, G-Rod?
Made by G-Rod on Instagram is the only really thing that I use anymore. So find me there.
There you go. Made by G-Rod.
Instagram and Twitch TV.
And twitch.tv. Absolutely. And please go watch this. It's going to be so much fun. If you love our show, I guarantee you are going to love the Wrestle Addict too. Guarantee it. G-Rod, thank you so much again, buddy. And good luck with what you're doing. And you are welcome on our show at any given time, man. Any given time, buddy.
I appreciate it. Sorry, my face just went really sour. We lost. So
no,
double overtime.
Oh,
A BS penalty call led to a goal. It's all right. We were so injured, but it's whatever.
Well, there's always next year.
Well, I hope so.
There's always next year. Do you want to stay? It's up to you.
I got to get back to work here. I have 40 minutes left, and then I'm going to sleep.
Sounds good, buddy. Well, G-Rod, thanks again for coming on, and make sure you go to twitch.tv/made by G-Rod and check out the Wrestle Addict May 7th, 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv, and it's for one night only. Super excited for it. G-Rod, thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate you.
Thank you, G-Rod. Be safe out there, man. Much
you
love.
Too. Much love, guys.
Take care. Well, guys, I think it's time that we get into a little bit of wrestling news, at least, because we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. So let's start it off with my Buzzkill moment, and this one is for the Baron. The April 28th episode of WWE Raw rolled into T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri, KC. And that episode included a lot of segments, including one that spelled an upcoming absence for one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Nick Aldis filled in as the Raw General Manager this week as Adam Pearce was off. And it still meant that he was in charge of some interesting segments. During Raw this week, Liv Morgan came in to say that she needs some time off to go film a big Hollywood movie. She didn't mention the name of the project, but seems to be a very real situation, Baron. And Nick Aldis told Morgan that her time off request was granted and all of her paperwork had gone through. Dominic Mysterio tried to get some time off after that too, but the IC champ didn't get the same favor of time off. Baron, with that being said, I see her starring in the major motion picture Backyard Babes, co-starring the Baron.
And that answers my question. I was going to ask if Baron knows what the name of the movie is because I can't find any information on it other than it's not a Marvel movie and it's a high-profile drama.
Yeah. Well, Baron, I know you're heartbroken, buddy, but at least maybe soon you'll be able to see your boo on the big screen, which will be fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I need to know what movie it is.
I know.
I actually don't even care that she's starring in it. I enjoy, like, when... Well, I do care, but I enjoy when like wrestlers are going into the big movie because they're making this out to be a big movie motion picture, right?
Yeah.
Is Drew McIntyre in this as well?
Well, while that was my next segment.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm glad you brought it up. While Liv Morgan's upcoming movie announcement grabbed attention on Raw, a much bigger story is developing behind the scenes, and that was just what Baron said. Drew McIntyre could be the next major WWE star heading straight into Hollywood, too. Drew McIntyre is represented by Paradigm Talent Agency, the same group that manages Liv Morgan and CM Punk. Is already being lined up for a major film role. One source stated via PW Insider, quote, all signs point to Drew McIntyre, end quote, as the next big name to jump into large-scale film or television projects. And Ringside News, our partners, can confirm that this report is accurate and has been in the works since earlier this year. McIntyre's Hollywood journey has already really started. He made his feature film debut in The Killer's Game, an action comedy released in September of last year. And in the movie, he played Rory McKenzie, one half of a pair of Scottish assassin brothers assigned to take out a retired hitman played by Dave Bautista. Paradigm has been working closely with the WWE to coordinate talent schedules to avoid chaos of past eras when stars like Roddy Piper famously left WWE to film abruptly to film They Live. And the new goal is to make transitions into Hollywood smoother without hurting the WWE's ongoing storylines. Now, while Liv's upcoming project will be announced soon and is said to feature her in a major role, McIntyre is quietly positioning himself to make an even bigger jump. His recent signing as a new face of Project Rock further fueled speculation the WWE is preparing him for a wider mainstream crossover, which is very good. So here's the question of the day. Are you as excited as the Baron is to see Liv Morgan and Drew McIntyre on the big screen? Let us know in the chats, and Max, will start with you, buddy.
There's been mixed success with wrestlers crossing over into movies, but I'd say generally overall, I've mostly seen good stuff from it. And Baron will like this. I think Liv is going to do a damn good job doing movies. I really do. And unfortunately, it's probably not going to be the movies that Baron really wants to see her in. I'm sorry, but I don't think it will be. But I think she'll do a pretty good job. The thing is, you have to be able to play a character in pro wrestling. You've got to be able to deliver lines and put on a show and entertain people. And that, in some cases, translates naturally into the movie world. James Ellsworth, I don't think would do nearly as well, but that's all right. So, but there's only one problem I have with this. And listen, I want you to be clear. I'm not saying that Liv and Raquel need to get rid of the tag titles before she takes the time off. Mm-hmm. I just don't think it's right. The WWE only has one set of women's tag titles for all three brands. And now we're looking at probably not seeing those belts for several months or however long Liv's going to be gone. That's my only issue with this plan. That's it.
Baron, your thoughts?
I'm all for it. I have no qualms about this issue here. And I hope she stars in the greatest movie of all time. She deserves it.
She does deserve it. Absolutely. Well, chat, sound off if you're excited to see Liv Morgan and Drew McIntyre on the big screen. Let's move on to another good show that was just really, really so fun to watch, and that was Heels. If you've never seen it on Stars, starring Stephen Amell, it was a big hit with wrestling fans when it came out in 2021 because of the great story and the drama. Even though the show was canceled after 2 seasons, though, CM Punk, who was on the show, has now revealed that he is trying to petition Netflix to make a 3rd season of the show. Now, while speaking to Deadline, CM Punk revealed he has a few upcoming projects and mentioned that he and others are actively pushing Netflix to greenlight a 3rd season of Heels. Punk explained that things are much more flexible now compared to earlier in his career when wrestling took up most of his time and limited his ability to pursue outside ventures. His current contract allows him to work on previously established projects, making it easier to balance commitments. While he regularly appears on Monday Night Raw, he does have the option to step away temporarily for film shoots. Among the projects he's excited about are TV shows called Revival, that's set to air on Sci-Fi, in a movie titled Night Patrol. It's a supernatural crime story involving LAPD gangs and vampires, written by Ryan Prowse. But I thought Punk, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I thought Punk did a great job on the series Heels, and I really wish Stars would have renewed it for a 3rd season. But honestly, Netflix would be a great home for the show. Baron, have you ever seen that show?
Heels?
Yeah, Heels.
I've seen portions of it. I have not watched everything. I'm just thinking of CM Punk on the screen. other than wrestling. I don't know if you guys are a fan of Sons of Anarchy.
Yes. Yeah.
But he was on the Mayans MC.
Yep.
And it was just a weird, I don't know. It was weird at the time watching him on that show. I mean, just on that show, he was he was on a few episodes, right?
Yeah, he was on. Yeah, he was a recurring role.
Yeah, he was, for sure.
Yeah,
recurring role for
one
of the seasons. I don't think his acting was all that great. He was just pretty much playing CM Punk in a show, very bland. So I can only imagine him on the heels.
Yeah, Heels was a very good show. He had a very outgoing character. If I remember right, he was he a wrestler or was he a manager of a wrestler? I can't remember. I have to go back and watch it, but I'm excited. Max, did you ever watch Heels?
I haven't, but I want to.
Yeah, go.
I do have numbers for you guys. He was on 4 episodes of Mayans MC. He was on 6 episodes of Heels, and his character name on Heels was Ricky Rabies.
Yes. Yeah, I love that show. Again, if you haven't seen that show, go watch it. And I hope that he can get greenlit for season 3 of Heels on Netflix. That would be so cool. Let's go to the Desk of Max Magius. And this one involves Karrion Kross. And he turned heads with a scathing promo during WrestleMania 41's recap show, venting about being left off the biggest card of the year. Fans immediately started questioning whether the promo was a worked storyline or a real shoot. And now we finally, Max, have an answer. On the Fightful Select Q&A podcast, Sean Ross Sapp cleared the air about the promo's true nature. According to Sapp, it was both a shoot and a work. He said, quote, a lot of people asking if it was a shoot or a work. It was both. It wasn't scripted. It all came from him. He did weave storyline in and out of it, quote, end quote. He confirmed that the promo was a recorded interview and not some off-the-cuff moment. He said they added it into an uploaded video, so they knew that it would really get attention too. Now, despite how raw and intense it came off, the segment was edited, approved, and intentionally broadcast. What made the promo even more impactful was the backstage response. Multiple WWE stars reportedly reached out to Kross after it aired, not out of a concern, but to support him. Yeah, it was. If you haven't seen the promo yet, my God, it was so freaking captivating. Kross, of course, is known backstage as someone who's quote very easy to work with, end quote, and ambitious creatively, end quote. Which likely helped this Raw segment make it into the final cut. Even so, Sapp admitted, quote, a lot of people were surprised it made air due to the language and everything like that, end quote. But Max, this was executed perfectly, and this legit got me excited for not only Kross's gimmick, but kind of got me excited again as a wrestling fan too.
Listen, this may not have been scripted, but this was definitely a work shoot, and it was phenomenal. They gave him the creative control to say what he wanted. This was kind of the idea that they were going for, and he went out there and made magic with it. I'm very excited for the direction that this is headed. I do have one little thing to pick on in your little rant, though, Karrion. And while I support everything you said, you may not have been in a match on the WrestleMania card, but you were on the WrestleMania card. You went out there to try to convince AJ to do the right thing, and he decided to do the goody thing. But you were there. You had an appearance. Now, I do agree that you deserve more than that, but let's be honest, you got a WrestleMania moment, and that's got to count for something.
Yeah.
But I do want to see where this is going. I can't wait to see more out of Kross. I want to see more of this new side of him where he's actually displaying his anger at everything that's going on. I think it's great. I love the new reality aspect with the stories. This one right here has me the most intrigued now.
This has me very intrigued. Baron, you're agreeing too, man.
Oh, no, absolutely. I think it's beautiful watching wrestling and watching people on air revamp themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like Karrion Kross has the look. He's got the eye candy as the manager, right?
Yep.
So those two things will always come together if it's done properly. And I think now, I think obviously Triple H is recognizing him a little bit more just because of his history with him. And I'm looking forward to everything. I think he's someone that should has been pushed a long time ago. So being able to see him have that mark, I'm happy for, and I can't wait for what happens in the future because he's a fucking star, man. Just look at him, like that is WWE's recipe right there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping nothing but the best because I think he could do really good things here.
Absolutely. Guys, we have to move on because we kind of got duped. And the reason I say that is because we got duped.
No, you guys got duped. I didn't. I never get duped.
No, we all got duped. We all got duped. And this involves Isla Dawn for our WrestleMania video that we posted out on X to promote it. We saw a light come through or a heart or whatever, and it was from Isla Dawn, and I got really, really freaking excited. I started following her. And I'm like, oh my God, I showed all the guys. I'm like, dude, Isla Dawn just liked our post. Holy crap. I thought this was huge news. No, it really isn't. Isla Dawn was released by WWE earlier this year, and she's kind of kept to herself and kept herself busy with other projects since then. Unfortunately, she's still a celebrity, and she's got a deal with fake accounts posting as her, and now she has specifically called out yet another imposter account on social media, and this is the account that I was talking about, pretending to be her. She said the account was obviously fake, which I didn't know, and she would never have a bio like that and urged people not to interact with it, saying she finds it creepy and really hates the whole situation. She says, and I quote, "This is so wildly fake. It's not even a good kind of fake. Why would that be my name or bio? Please stop engaging with it because I hate it and it's creepy," end quote. Sadly, being a pro wrestler simply means that there will still be people trying to exploit their name and scam unsuspecting fans out of their hard-earned money, among other things. I just saw Adam Pearce make a video reminding fans that the WWE will never ask for money. They won't ask for gift cards or anything like that. And these assholes, they follow us and they like to tweet on one of our shows. I thought it was legit. I thought it was the legit Isla Dawn. So Isla, if you see this, I'm just here to tell you that we have a chair if you want to borrow it to use it on the imposters. Because that's bullshit. Bullshit. And how fucking dare you dupe me?
And if you want to come on the show and rant about them, just let
no
us know.
shit. Yeah, if you want to come on.
If you want to come on the show and rant about it, get the word out there. Come on.
Absolutely. Let's move on to some AEW news, and let's go to Baron's Buzzkill Moment. And this is regarding Adam Copeland, and he is already thinking about the final bell. The former world champion gave fans an honest look at his future during a recent appearance, revealing that his time in the ring is winding down. While Copeland hasn't been seen on AEW TV since getting jumped by FTR at AEW Dynasty, he's been keeping busy. Recently spotted at Toronto Maple Leafs games, and now making headlines with his latest comment. He said, quote, "Not much longer," when asked if he had more plans to wrestle. He said, quote, "The schedule is far better than what it used to be. If you asked me to try to pull off over 200 days a year that I pulled off before, there is absolutely no way because the recovery time takes way too long now," end quote. Copeland turns 53 October next year, and that lines up with the end of his current AEW deal. As of now, there's no word when he'll be back on AEW programming following the beatdown at Dynasty. But Baron, I think I know what your answer is going to be already. But do you think he should have stayed out of wrestling instead of going to the AEW?
I mean, dude, the guy went through fucking massive surgery on his neck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at that point in juncture, I know human beings are passionate about what, what they love the most, and he does that. I just think overall, I watched a video on TikTok the other night, and they were doing a WrestleCon in Vegas, and they started showing clips of all older wrestlers from the 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, and these guys cannot walk. I know they're older, but I mean, there's a point that is too much, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, these guys were in phenomenal shape at one point in time, and now they just can't walk. I feel like Adam Copeland at some point is going to be the same exact way, right?
I think
sadly.
So.
I think it would have been great for him and his family to retire. I think his legacy, people are going to hate this, I think his legacy has fucking plummeted since joining AEW. Sorry, AEW stands out there.
So would you say the same thing about Sting?
I don't even acknowledge his AEW reign. And I don't even acknowledge Sting's WWE time. Neither one are noteworthy.
Do you acknowledge She Who Shall Not Be Named?
What, Max?
I was asking Baron, do you acknowledge She Who Shall Not Be Named?
No.
Good answer.
Very good answer.
But yeah, man, I think Adam Copeland, phenomenal as Edge. Loved his WWE run. I just, I think it was time to retire 10 plus years ago.
Yeah. You know what? I agree with you, Max. You've been in this business, and I know you've seen a lot of different wrestlers put their bodies through a lot of hell. And do you think that, this can go to you too. Do you think that Copeland should have stayed home and just hung out with his family other than, going on the road with AEW and being back in the ring?
Look, I love Edge. My favorite period was Edge and Christian with the comedy gimmick days. They were great in the Brood, but I love them doing the 7-second pose for those of you with the benefit of flash photography. I loved his solo time. I loved Christian's solo time. And I'm so glad that he got to, as his kids put it, go play with Uncle Jason. I love that for him. However, Hogan, as much as I hate the guy, and I want you all to know that I have an Iron Sheik quote in my head because I mentioned Hogan. Hogan made a really good point at one point years ago, and then his dumbass went on and took a bunch more bumps, but that's beside the point. The human body only has so many bumps in it, and as much as I love Cope, it's possible that his time was a long time ago, and I hate saying that. I always hate having to say goodbye to my favorites, but I love you, Cope, but it's time to go home and be with the wife and the kids.
Yeah.
I don't think your body's going to be able to handle much more at this point.
Yeah. There's some good news with AEW, though. They're on a roll right now with the company putting out content that fans are really enjoying, and it's led to an increase in ticket sales for its events, and now it appears that the upcoming AEW Grand Slam Mexico has already sold out well before the event even takes place, as revealed by the official Ticketmaster site for AEW Grand Slam Mexico. The company had completely sold out the highly anticipated event, which will be held in the legendary Arena Mexico in Mexico City. Now, it's to be noted that the total capacity of the venue is 16,500. And so it's an incredible achievement for AEW to have already sold out the show long before it takes place on June 18th. And Tony Khan has been very open about his relationship with CMLL and the fact that he wants to help both companies grow in a big way. So AEW Grand Slam Mexico already selling out is a definitely promising sign. And you know what? We shit on AEW quite a bit, but this is kind of cool, man. I love the fact these promotions are teaming up with each other. I mean, the acquisition of WWE with help me out, Max, that promotion in Mexico.
AAA.
Thank you, AAA. With AEW teaming up with CMLL, even WWE teaming up with TNA and AEW with Ring of Honor. It's just really a fun fucking time to be a wrestling fan because you get the best of get really do the best of both worlds. And when we just talked with Glenn and we said this, every time we end the show, we say love professional wrestling no matter what it is. And that's the cool thing about this industry in particular, is that you can go watch a show and watch what you like, Max. And even if it's an indie show and you had tons of fans show up at your indie shows, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, the more people you have, the better it is. The energy coming off the fans is great. I had some shows where we had a packed house. I had shows where we didn't really have very many people. You find that you struggle harder the less people you have. I don't understand how the AEW locker room still has as much passion as they do for working there, when we've seen the pictures of the low attendance and we know that the ratings have been down. I make this clear a lot. I don't dislike AEW. I want AEW to succeed. The problem is, I don't think it's going to succeed with Tony Khan running it. No matter what the AEW fan base says, listen, I respect you guys, but I don't think Tony Khan has the knowledge that he needs. And if he would take the time to learn, that would help. But without the butts in the seats, you're not going to do well. And that's why AEW Grand Slam is such a big deal for them right now. If it's truly sold out, that is great. I 100% love that for them.
Yeah, Baron, I mean, this is good news for the company. I kind of think this is what they needed to help them, get past the negative publicity that's been out against the company too.
I just want to know how any of these shows are selling out. How on earth are people paying for these? And I'm going to go on a rant here. Rant with Jordan. Sorry, not Jordan. But how are people affording to go to these shows? These shows are expensive as hell.
Well,
so it's hard to believe in times right now people are able to afford to go to these shows. I know we looked in the past and just kind of compared ticket prices. I would say anything over $300 in nosebleed is too much, right? So it makes it hard for me to believe that it's actually sold out.
Yeah. That's the question. How are they continuously selling tickets? The shows, the pay-per-views have been great. It's just the weekly shows that I have problems getting through.
I have problems getting through any of it because the weekly shows are to build your main shows, right? I mean, that's the whole point of a weekly show, and none of them make sense. So I find it hard that they're selling out of tickets. I don't care what anybody's opinion is on that. I'm going to stand my ground because I find that to be bullshit. Backlash is not sold out. And the more I look at it, I could afford to go, but it's just also one of those factors of like, why would I go? You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't see this show being sold out. I don't think any wrestling show is sold out. Just like WrestleMania, there's so many empty seats you could see at that show. So it's just weird to me.
Yeah. I'm going to share a photo that Max just sent over, and this is the arena in Mexico, and $488 for one seat, and then $854 for, I believe that would be balcony right there.
I think so, but look at where those seats are. Those are the two blue rings.
Oh, wow.
Gradas is the outer blue ring, and the
but
balcon
is that US dollar? Is
that's a big question. I don't know if that's US dollars.
I can tell you, I have it up.
It is, yeah.
It looks like it's American dollars.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's what I'm saying. Like, why would you afford to go to that? As much as I love wrestling, I'm not paying that price to go sit in the nosebleed.
Well, here's where it gets even worse, though. Look at it from this perspective. Yeah, we're spending, let's say we just go with the Gratis, the cheaper price. We're spending almost $500 a ticket right there. then we got to pay for airfare, and the airlines have been jacking their prices up lately. So you're talking probably $1,200-1,300 round trip minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So you're already at almost $2,000, and all you did was fly down and see a show. Now, what are you going to do when the show's over? You going to go straight back to the airport and try to fly back home? Oh, by the way, your cab cost you some money too. So that's a big bump. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to get hungry while I'm down there, even though I probably don't want to eat the food. So that's even more. And then if I can't fly out right away that night, I'm going to have to get a hotel, and holy crap. And on top of all that, I'm going to need my passport to go down there, which I don't currently have. So so already we're at what, $2,500, maybe more, just for this one show if we only spent one night down there.
Well, I think even the food will be fine. You just can't drink the water, so that's extra expense, you know.
On the other hand, it's better than
The food sounds good, though. The food sounds absolutely amazing right now. But yeah, that's the whole point I'm making. So any wrestling show, whether it's AEW, WWE, any of them, those two top brands, saying that they're sold out, it's a load of shit. Sure, they might be sold out. I feel like maybe they're giving out tickets that I don't know what the case may be, but I just find that to be a load of shit. Because I don't know who we're sitting through every episode of AEW at this point in juncture. If so, I apologize. I love you. But we need to get you into some type of consultation of something, because boy, that's rough. That's almost as bad as ECW review.
Yeah, this week I did not pay any attention. As a matter of fact, I put on Beavis and Butthead because I figured that would be more fun, would be more entertaining than AEW at that juncture.
So, do you guys want to go to Tempe, Arizona in June with me?
Tempe, Arizona. I will be out there at the end of May.
I don't know what's in Tempe, Arizona, Max.
TNA Against All Odds.
Mm.
TNA Against All Odds. When in June, though?
Friday, June 6th. Hold on a second. Friday, June 6th at 6:30 p.m. their time. I don't know what time zone they're
Well, that's
on.
the only time zone that matters, Max. That's a mountain time zone, by the way.
Well, I know that most of Arizona doesn't change at time change. So, but the only thing is, I don't know whether they're on Pacific or Mountain right now.
They're on Mountain. It never. So it's. I mean, I only know because obviously from Arizona, but I believe they're 2 hours behind right now.
So it seems like this is.
So for Max, it would be 1 hour, right? Yeah.
So it's 10 o'clock here.
Yeah.
So what we're sharing on the screen here, this is for TNA, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Against all odds.
Against all odds, and standard admission is only $82.
Well, and the one I highlighted, well, I didn't highlight it, but I put the section 120 on the screen on purpose because it's at the top row there. It's the farthest to the left.
Mm-hmm.
But look how close it still is to the ring with where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
And you're still looking at less than $100 a ticket.
I know.
Well, I had to look up the venue because I couldn't remember what it was like. So I looked it up, and I know of the venue. $82 may not be worth going to just knowing this area because it's around the college town and it's super busy. Mm-hmm. But two, anywhere you sit in this venue, you could see the entire thing. Unlike probably AEW or WWE show in the nosebleeds. Like you could sit at the very top and see everything.
Yeah. That'll be
small venue.
That'll be exciting, man. That'll be a lot of fun.
I think right now that's where our business has to go is TNA if we go to any live stuff, because I don't think we can afford the other two companies.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's speaking of TNA, let's talk. I only have one piece of TNA news, and we're going to wrap it up. But Rebellion 2025, it was packed with some pretty big moments, from Joe Hendry's brutal title defense to the Hardy Boys keeping their tag gold, and we had Indy Hartwell signing with TNA, making up the biggest move of the night, but that's what really turned heads too. And it turns out that her move to the Knockouts division was in the works way longer than fans realized. During the final hour of Rebellion, cameras cut to ringside for a major announcement, and that was Indy Hartwell is officially part of TNA. The crowd inside the Galen Center erupted, but behind scenes, the deal had been locked down for a while. And according to Fightful Select, they said, quote, Hartwell was in the process of being signed as far back as a full month ago, and it was finalized around that time, end quote. The outlet also said that Hartwell's signing was one of several international deals TNA had quietly lined up earlier in the year, and her arrival comes months after grinding it out on the independent scene following her WWE release. From wrestling the one that shall not be named to training top names, Indy kept herself pretty busy and clearly had her next move mapped out. Now, instead of waiting for another WWE call or maybe looking at AEW, she immediately jumped on the opportunity with TNA and made it official, which was a smart move, I think. And fans saw it play out on TV. TNA also announced that Hartwell will speak for the first time as a TNA star on the May 1st episode of Impact Live with names like Masha Slamovich, Tessa Blanchard, and Ash by Elegance already throwing down. Hartwell stepping into the Knockouts division could completely shake things up, Max. This is going to be huge, man.
Listen, technically, if you think about it, she still works for WWE, so I'm okay with this. I think it's great that she has a path. I don't think she should have been let go. I thought her and Candice LeRae had a lot of potential if WWE would use them right. But I love that she's here, and I love that she's got plans, and it sounds like TNA wants to work with her. I'm all for that. Let's see what happens going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Baron, I know with your special guest there, I know you.
Yeah, sorry, guys. She came running in and she runs the house. It doesn't matter. She's co-casting with me here. She says hello. Maggie is probably not happy at all, but nonetheless, I think this is great. And like Max said, she's still part of the WWE roster of sorts. So I think it's great. I think I really think TNA really on the knockout division needs help. I've watched more so than I have in a long time, TNA.
Yeah.
And I think Jordan Grace leaving kind of left a hole in a sense on that roster. So anybody that can go over there, and WWE is currently stacked on the women's division. So anybody they could send over there would be really good.
Yeah. Maggie, what's your professional podcasting opinion on your debut here? Oh,
I need food. Give me food.
You look like an Iconics fan.
Fuck off, Max.
Listen, I don't let the other guys talk to me that way, but you're cute, so I'm going to let you get away with it.
Yes.
Maggie, you are really adorable. Thank you for making your debut here on Ramblers Unleashed. We appreciate you, baby girl. We love you.
And you know what? I'd rather have you on the show than Styles anytime.
Well, speaking of that is all the stories that I have for us tonight. It's been a hell of a show. Again, thank you so much to G-Rod for stopping by. Make sure you go to twitch.com or twitch.tv/made by G-Rod and go watch the show, man, because these guys are just so awesome at what they do. And I'm going to put up the graphic one more time for you to go check it out. It's the Wrestle Addict, one night only, twitch.tv/made by G-Rod, May 7th, 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be the best show you'll ever watch.
And if you don't have Twitch, go sign up now so that you're ready for next week. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. And while you're on Twitch, while you're making that account, if you're already here on YouTube, go like us on Twitch too. We're on twitch.tv/Ramblers Unleashed. And we dual stream here on youtube.com/Ramblers Unleashed too. Baron, give us your socials where people can follow you, sir.
Well, as you all know, you can find me on the Twitter at Scumbag Jordan with 3 ends.
3 ends. And of course, go follow the Baron, and because of Maggie, you know.
Yes, please follow me for Maggie, because the only content I will ever throw on social media is some retweets. And this girl here. So that's this is life over here.
And Mir, he said, Max, that intro I got was glorious. And yeah, it's pretty cool, man. You get an intro too, Mir. And again, we need to see you in your Ramblers Unleashed shirt, dude. Whenever it comes in, let us know.
Have we verified if he has it? I didn't see in chat.
I think he said Friday he's gonna get into it. I think.
Good. I'm glad, because like I said, I had no email, so yeah. I have to verify it.
He said yes. Unfortunately, you'll have to wait till Friday, so that's okay. That's fine. At least we'll see it. And enjoy your shirt, Mir. And thanks for always being here too, buddy. And Courtney, we love you too. We love everybody, man. Max, how can they follow you, sir?
You can find me on the account about wrestling at Max Magius. It's right there spelled for you. You can find my nerd podcast at Our Shots Podcast. You can find that podcast pretty much anywhere you find your podcast, or go to random-shots.net. And if you really want to, please follow Maggie at Maggie the Adorable Puppy on Twitter. I'll create that account later. Don't worry.
Maggie moved with 2 ends. Or O's, sorry, not ends.
2 O's. 2 O's. You can follow the show on Facebook at Ramblers Unleashed. Find us on X too at The Ramblers Pod. And if you like what we're doing here on YouTube, please consider hitting that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. That tells YouTube that you like what we're doing, and tells others to check out our video too. And until next Tuesday, we will do it over. Oh, J-Bone. Yeah, you have to follow him too at J-Bone5150. Also, find his podcast too at TNI, Total Nonstop Impact, with the latest TNA news regarding probably more about Indy Hartwell and everything going on over on TNA. And until next Tuesday, we will do it all over again. So please enjoy professional wrestling for what it is, no matter what you like. Just go watch some wrestling. And until next week, we will talk. See ya.
Peace. Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.